let's talk more about this bluster and bring in New York Times columnist and CNBC contributor Jim Stewart. Jim, always great to speak with you.
Likewise, nice to be with you.
Would you agree with our panel that this is mostly bluster, or does it actually impact the business?
Well, I think it's probably, you've got to take it somewhat seriously, although I don't see it as a significant business threat. This particular effort to, deprive the social media companies of some of the protections they now have, particularly against defamation laws. I think more worrisome long term is the ongoing antitrust investigation. And this kind of rhetoric coming out of the White House, I think, just establishes that, the president's out to get them. And when they do something that he doesn't like, I think what he really wants to see is them to back down and let him get his way. And he's threatening that it's not, and he's going to take whatever regulatory action he can against them. And there is a big Justice Department investigation, into Google and Facebook. Interestingly, though, I think Twitter is much less vulnerable there. I don't know how you make an antitrust case against Twitter. Both Google and Facebook have made some big acquisitions. They try to get them to divest. But Twitter doesn't, dominate any broad media market. I think it'd be very hard to use them as some kind of monopolization.
As an astute media watcher, Jim, I mean, when you take a look at the very different stances Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey are taking, which do you say is the smarter route in your view?
Well, I think it goes to the long-term credibility of the platform, and in that sense, I think Dorsey is being smart here. He's trying to maintain the credibility of Twitter as a source of reliable information. And I think Zuckerberg is much more willing to let Facebook be this kind of free-for-all. And it may be because it's a different animal from Twitter. Twitter is closer to a newspaper. I mean, people go to Twitter for sort of breaking real-time information. They don't go there as much to trade little, tidbits of news with their friends. I mean, there are a lot of people on Facebook who probably don't care what the president is saying about, cures for the COVID or something like that. They're on there because it's their primary media outlet for interacting with their friends. So I think they both have a different reaction because the different platforms serve a somewhat different
Tim,
purpose.
you got a question?
Yeah, Jim, ultimately, the issues for Facebook in the past, the irony is, of course, that they were under the magnifying glass of the administration off the last election. And in fact, there are many that argue that they truly helped elevate this administration in the last election. But Facebook trades at a discount for a reason. And I know you're not a financial analyst per se, but again, you have been watching this company. Do you think it could come out of this election cycle? Mark Zuckerberg, to me, sounds like someone who is trying to tactfully kind of play a middle ground here. And could we be removing, I know you're concerned about DOJ, but couldn't we be removing some of that headwind for the Facebook discount?
Yeah, I think that's possible. I mean, I think people have relatively low expectations about Facebook and are worried that they're going to be manipulated as they were the last time by people infiltrating the site. And we know from things they've said that they are taking the election concerns very seriously. I mean, Zuckerberg has said he's not going to try to fact check everything on there, but having, fake individuals or, secret Russian agents pretending to be someone else and disseminating information, they are doing things about that. And if they can succeed at that, I think you're absolutely right. That's going to go a long way towards relieving some of the biggest concerns about that. And then, of course, another thing is, frankly, I think the antitrust issues will be greatly diminished if Trump is not reelected. I think on the merits, it remains to be seen. But, I think you saw what happened with the Justice Department going after AT&T and Time Warner, where that looked in many ways like it was a politically driven lawsuit, and it was thrown out of court. I think you could see a similar outcome in the Facebook case.
Jim, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Sure. Good. Great subject.